After having my internet completely shut down for 12 days, my ISP had an attack that they could not fix or figure out. They have now given me new customer equipment and moved me to a completely new server and whole new system. So I'm back online, and I want to show you how this polar vortex is being created over and over. And it is an artificial man-made distortion in the jet stream. And there are 4 separate secret weather control operations going on to create this thing over and over. And the significance of this video is I have discovered the 4th feature that is required to create this thing. And I'm going to show that in a minute. It's really remarkable. And okay, so this is the current jet stream. And again, this this jet stream notch has been recreated, and that is being created. It's a distortion. It's a obstruction in the jet stream, and I believe the most likely candidate is the big Alaska Haarp transmitter. Heats the ionosphere, causes descending air, and that disrupts this high altitude river of air. Also, there are these SBX transmitters like SBX1, which is a multi-megawatt microwave transmitter, and it's floating around somewhere in the Pacific out there, and that is easily able to create a distortion like this. Also, these Navy Aegis ships, and there are over a dozen of them, those are also ionospheric heaters. So all this weaponry is out there and is easily able to create a distortion in the jet stream like this. If we back up in time, I want to go back a full day and watch this thing as it folds up. So here's November 23rd, yesterday, 2014, and we'll just step through and watch it fold up. Okay, now here they've recreated the jet stream notch. So each click is 6 hours. Let's see how long it lasts. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's a full day, 24 hours. 5, 6, 7, 8. So this distortion in the jet stream is here for 48 hours. And admittedly, it does get blown apart there. Let's go back to the current jet stream map, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit and show you the 4 requirements for creating this structure over and over. Number 1, you need a blockage up here. Like I said earlier, kind of like a sheet of plywood sticking 40,000 feet up in the air. But basically, it's just in the jet stream. This is only jet stream here, this map. And this violet, or pink, is actually 180 miles an hour. So this is a very fast river of air, about 40,000 feet up. So number 2, to maintain this distortion in the jet stream, the Baja Haarp transmitter down here maintains this high pressure in the jet stream, and I'll show you that in a minute. Number 3, you've got to prevent any low pressure from building here, and they do that by aerosoling, spraying aerosols up in the jet stream through this entire area here. That creates a hot air layer aloft, prevents any storm development, because low pressure or storms are going to curl counterclockwise and tend to straighten this whole thing out. That's why they cannot allow storms or low pressure to build here. Number 4, and this is the biggie, this is the discovery, they have to pin this high-speed jet stream, put an obstruction somewhere in the south-central U.S., and hold it there just long enough to force this to fold upward. And that happened yesterday, November 23rd, from 1300 Zulu to 1700 Zulu. So let me show you, sorry, need the time here. So this is yesterday. This is before they put the pin, this obstruction in the Texas Panhandle. 6:12. Okay, this is right before they have this obstruction installed. And now, here's right afterwards. So let me show you next the visible chemtrails that are being sprayed. Well, here's daybreak, visible mode in the Pacific, and this is a big giant aerosol trail right here. And if we go, here's midday, and we just really can't see very much in visible light mode. So let me move to water vapor mode and show you what's up. Oops, that's visible again. And now that is very interesting. I might get back to that. Okay, that's infrared, infrared. Okay, no, here we go. Water vapor, sorry about that. Now this is 23 Zulu, 13 to 1700. This is the key time when the obstruction was being put in the jet stream over the Texas Panhandle. Now these are just really mega aerosol trails up here. Because like I said, this water vapor, when it's daytime, Mother Nature is going to try and bubble that up and make storms. They're not going to permit that, so they install this capping inversion, this hot air layer, to prevent any storms, to maintain this clockwise flow. Let me zoom in so you can see this better. Now this is midday on the 23rd. We see a bunch more chemtrails being sprayed, and you can see some parallel ones here. I see 3 fine lines there. If we jump ahead in time, now we see a whole bunch more. And they've put a giant one down here. And, you know, I really think this is like 10 jets flying side by side when you see something that huge. But this would have bubbled up to make low pressure, but they've stopped that. And then the last one, this is November 24th, sort of midday. So they have succeeded in keeping this from building any low pressure. And now these real heavy chemtrails are being laid over California and Oregon. And if you're in California, you are seeing this today on November 24th. And off the coast of Oregon, wow, they just do this constantly off the coast of Oregon. Big heavy trails here. Okay, so that was that. That was part 2 of how they create this thing. Let me show you how I discovered the obstruction in the jet stream over the Texas Panhandle. This is really quite amazing. Okay, now, November 23rd, yesterday, I was looking at this IntelliCast live radar map. And if you look at the Texas Panhandle, you notice this really strange. There's this void that opens up here. And this is how a Haarp downburst looks. Admittedly, it's a really large one, but this is dry air being pressed down on top of these storms, and I can prove this. If we look at the next rad, we see a very interesting radar anomaly in this area. And we also see these storms getting dried up as they move into this downburst area. But this radar anomaly, I will just leave it to your imagination as to what that might be. So next I want to show you the water vapor over the Texas Panhandle. This is proof of dry air being pressed down. Okay, so this is the exact time that it was happening. If you can see this November 23rd, 14 to 17 Zulu. Now let me zoom in because this is so important. Okay, what we see here is an area of dry air suddenly appearing in the Texas Panhandle. And the pressure maps do not explain this. You know, there has to be high pressure for this dry air to be showing up. This dry air is air being pressed from aloft downward, because the air up in the jet stream is very dry. If we jump ahead in time, this is a few hours later. Right here we can see, and this is the Haarp downburst, folks. Right here, there is this circular outflow boundary, and it actually has about 3 concentric rings right here. So this is a classic Haarp outflow boundary with the it's expanding steadily, has concentric rings. Behind it you have dry air being pressed down. That's what I call the Haarp outflow boundary, the Haarp roll cloud. Okay, if we jump ahead again, what we see is the jet stream's so powerful it swept this dry air far to the east. And this is November 24th, about midnight. So, and then here is the current view, November 24th. This is about, mid-afternoon. Okay, so the point is they only needed to hold this obstacle in the jet stream there for a few hours, because this jet stream current is so powerful that any blockage is going to cause it to fold to the north. Okay, so next I want to show you the vertical velocity maps. The vertical velocity maps taken from this time right here, November 23rd, 13 to 17 Zulu, prove that you have descending air right here. So let me show you this. Okay, now here is vertical velocity map for November 23rd, 11 Zulu. This is right before this downburst happened. Okay, so we have some yellow and orange is rising air, so that's storminess, that's low pressure. What we're going to expect to see is gray, which is falling air. And here it is, 13 Zulu, this is the beginning of it. We actually see falling air on both sides of this low pressure here. And here it is, here's the real beginning of this. 15 Zulu, so this is matching now what we saw on the water vapor map. 17 Zulu, here it is. This is it. And 17 Zulu is about, what is that, about, well, it's early afternoon. And as I've said before, these Haarp transmitters cannot transmit very far at night. They have to transmit in the daytime when the ionosphere allows them to build these conduits or ionospheric lenses and mirrors. So that's 17 Zulu. Here is 19 Zulu. We still see this dry air. And notice it is stationary. It has not moved. For hours and hours it's stationary right here. Here's 21 Zulu. This is slightly after dark. And we see it basically fall apart here at 23 Zulu, which is going to be, oh gosh, what's that? About 7, no, this is dark here. It's getting dark now. And there's still a remnant there. Now by 03 Zulu 2400, it's all over with. Now this is 10 p.m. No more falling air. So next I want to show you the sea level pressure map, because now we know there was falling air, in other words high pressure, over the Texas Panhandle. And where the heck is that? I've got like 60 windows open. Here we go. Whoops. Let me look at this mainland instead of the Pacific. Oh, here we go. Okay, now this is 12 Zulu, November 23rd. So this is right before, and this is the sea level pressure map. All we see here is low pressure. That means rising air. If we jump ahead, this is 12 hours jumping ahead. So this is again the sea level pressure at the surface, and this is a low pressure here because this is a counterclockwise turn right here. So this is again rising air. These two surface maps do not explain that dry air being pressed down. Here's the jet stream on 12 Zulu 23rd. This is an hour before this downburst was happening, or at least it was measurable by the weather models. But what we see here is this strange squiggle in these pressure lines. This means that what it says to me is that the computer is seeing something happening here that it can't explain, so it puts these squiggles in. Because this right here is a clockwise turn, clockwise, clockwise. So it's seeing high pressure right here. So the computer can't explain that. And this is in the jet stream. 12 hours later, you know, they deliberately apparently don't give you a 6-hour update on the jet stream. I think they used to, but not anymore. Okay, next I want to show you the, let's see, how about we look at these jet stream pressure maps. This is 12 Zulu. Again, 12 Zulu, November 23rd. This is right before this blockage was installed right here. You can see this jet stream is just absolutely going down here with high speed. So if you install an obstruction right here, it's going to back this whole thing up like a train wreck and make it fold. If we look, here's 24 hours later. So 24 hours later, it's basically the same pattern, but we see this thing folding to the north. Let's see if I can find the next thing I wanted to show, which is these squall jet stream maps, which is, okay, now let me skip that. Storm surf current. Okay. I'm trying to show so much stuff here in this video that I had to make a list, and I've got so many windows open I can't find what I'm looking for. Okay. Okay, now the current situation here is this map right here. And again, they have to create this obstruction here, and that causes a northward component. They maintain this high pressure here, that gives it the clockwise component. And that's two operations. And then the third is to put a blockage here, causing it to fold far up north. And that's what's been discovered in this video, and proven, I also believe. Okay, so who's doing this and why? Again, I believe someone's cashing in on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange weather options. Because if we look, there's a day in the future. Look at this. That's just tremendous. Here, let me show you the, here is the current, here's the current jet stream. Okay? So if we just let it play, 1, 2, 3, 4, here's a day in advance. Here's one day in the future. That'll be November 25th, mid-afternoon. We have this powerful jet. I mean, it's warmer now in southern Alaska than it is in the northern tier of states. And 48 hours, it just maintains itself. But again, there's so much inertia. Keep in mind, this jet stream, it's like if you imagine, say, a rubber hose out in space where there's no gravity, and the whole thing is moving one direction, and if you grabbed it at one point, of course it's going to fold up. That's exactly what it's doing. And the last thing I want to say is my earlier predictions about this Pacific jet stream distortion, which I'm calling the jet stream notch or the polar vortex. These predictions have come true, and every 4 or 5 days they recreate this damn thing. And I don't know about anybody else, but in my area the trees did not have a chance to go dormant. They were flash frozen. So I imagine in the spring we're going to see a lot of trees that are just, they're dead. They were killed by that. I mean, we broke all kinds of records. It was a very unexpected degree of cold. Okay, so that explains what's happening here, that it takes 4 separate secret weather operations to maintain this false cold weather in the United States. Okay, please comment, and thanks for watching.